hang out with you. I want to thank People's Bank and Trust for sponsoring our stream on WTIM. And of course, on our YouTube page as well. And joining me this morning is the Christian County Master Gardeners. We have Gwen Podesky joining us, and no, I blanked. Tim Vaughn. That's right, Tim. I'm sorry. I remembered and then I didn't remember. I was all like freaking out for nothing. All right, Tim. And so thank you guys so much for taking a few minutes to join us this morning. Glad to have you on the show this morning.
It's good to be here.
All right. You guys had a big plant sale. I understand. Talk a little bit about how did that go? And I always, every time we talk about plant sales, I feel like you guys do fairly well with those. But how did this one go?
This one was fantastic. We moved it back to the first weekend of May this time, and felt like we had a great sale. Lots of people showed up early, and then there were a few folks still pulling in the drive at just afternoon. So anyway, we've got a few plants left, but for the most part, we had a great sale. Had lots and lots of perennials and lots of good help from a couple, I think 3 local 4-H groups to kind of help us get plants on the table and stuff. So we'd like to thank those folks. And I'd like to thank all of my master gardeners, or not my master gardeners, but all of the other master gardeners for doing such a great job. You may not have seen all of us there, but we have dug in different dig dates and contributed plants and things. So we've had a really good work team this year, and it really paid off.
Again, the support not only from the community but from the master gardeners itself. That's how you get things done. Obviously, Gwen, you can't do everything yourself.
No, so I mean, some days it's like, wow, could we just clone a few people, right, Tim? We could just have hundreds more, but anyway, then we'd probably just all walk all over each other. I don't know. But it was fun. It was a good day. Perfect day for the plants, I thought. What did you think? Yeah. That they were not stressed by, sometimes if it was windy, but the sun did not come out, which I know that sounds sort of counterproductive or whatever, but with a plant sale with plants in pots on tables, a little less sun is always okay.
Sometimes the less sun, the better, at least as far as that's concerned.
Right. But anyway, we had a good day and the weather held off. We just beat the rain. Just like yesterday, I mowed the lawn and I just beat the rain.
Sometimes it's just a matter of when you do it, that's when it works out just fine. But I'm glad you guys had a good plant sale. Do you, is that a one time a year thing, or do you guys do that multiple times throughout the year?
No, that is our one and only shot at that. The university has asked Extension to impose that on master gardening groups, that they not go out of their way to compete with local growers, I guess, and things. So we don't. We get one shot at plant sales.
Very cool. Very cool.
Oh, and I would also like to thank, while we're thinking about it, the Stonington American Legion Auxiliary sold their hanging baskets inside the Extension facility while we were in the parking lot. And I'd like to thank those folks. And I think they had a good day. I believe they sold every last hanging basket. They had 100, and I think they sold 100.
Very cool. Yeah, very nice. That's awesome. Obviously, being able to get all that out there is a big deal. So very cool that was able to take place. All right, Gwen. So we've had a big plant sale. Everybody's got their plants now, and they're all ready to go and put them out in their gardens, right?
Well, I don't know. I mean, they may have to wait a couple of days now. It's a little muddy. I bought a few myself and took some home that afternoon, and I thought, well, this is truly mudding in the plants.
Well, yeah, I had to take my canoe from Burton all the way here this morning. I looked out in my yard, and
but that's been a good thing, because we have really been short of rain this year, and tragically, what happened on I-55 was sort of a result of that. But I thought, man, it's like it's either dry as a bone or coming up buckets. So. Yeah, anyway, but it was good. That I think we really needed that to get some things going. I don't know about Tim, but my garden's been a little slow to emerge. Things have looked okay, but it's just been like they're waiting. I look at old pictures on Facebook from years past, and I'm like, well, that's not quite blooming yet. So I think it's been a little slow. We've had a cool and dry spring.
Well,
Really.
it's either cold and beautiful or hot and windy. I think there hasn't been a difference in that, at least as far as I've seen. It's been very, very bizarre spring so far this year.
And one of our other master gardeners sent me a link because we were talking about the wind and how it's been this year. And it's I don't remember if it's an Omega block that was set up or something, but the jet stream's been waving up and down around us, and that has kind of increased, I think, the winds this year.
It's just been a really weird weather cycle this year. Just not used to seeing it as much as
well.
As
and we hope those winds die down for the trees now that most of the trees are leafed. That causes more problems for trees when their leaves are not there. So
absolutely. All right, what else we got going on this morning, Gwen?
Well, next week we will have our first farmers market tent open. We are usually there 2 times a month. I believe it's most of the time the first and third Saturdays with the Taylorville Farmers Market. But this time, because our plant sale was this last weekend, then we're going to this coming weekend. And then from then it'll return to like first and third Saturdays of the month. And we will be there to answer questions. We're always glad to have people, bring questions to the tent, bring examples of things that they're observing in their own gardens, whether they're good things or bad things. Don't bring us any poison ivy to ID.
I feel like there's a story there, Gwen.
No, not really. Other than just don't bring us any poison, things like that. I mean, be considerate. But anyway, it's we always like that. It's kind of fun to meet people face to face. And of course, our help desk will be returning this month, Thursdays 9 to 11. We will be at the extension office, so they can call or come by 1120 North Webster.
Yeah, and those help desks are super important. I work a ton of hours, and so I don't get a whole lot of time to be out in my garden. So being able to call or be able to ask those questions, hey, what do I do about this? What do I do about that? So important for somebody like me who's doesn't have a whole lot of time to be out there and taking care of stuff.
Right. So it's helpful. And like I said, call them. The number's 217-287-7246. The address is 1120 North Webster. People are always welcome to call and leave a message with the office staff, and we will get back to them when we can do that.
And with those farmers going out there for the farmers markets and everything, always important as well, because there's local growers that are there and there's local plants that are there. And it's a good way to kind of just touch base and see, hey, I've got this going on. Are you guys seeing the same thing that we are, or just checking up with other people to kind of see how they're doing?
Yeah, because I mean, things like one of the local beekeepers is usually there. She sells honey, and it's kind of good to sort of touch bases with them. I haven't seen, and I usually see a lot of honeybees on my blueberry bushes, and I have not seen a honeybee this spring. So I'm a little concerned. A lot of bumblebees, a lot of bumbles, and unfortunately for me, because I have these big wood window boxes on the front of my house, I have carpenter bees that, I'm like, these guys are a pest. But I haven't seen a lot. So it's always good to touch bases with them and hear what farmers hear, kind of what, we're not supposed to advise farmers, but it's always a good back and forth to see how things are growing for them and what problems they may know about. They learn about other things through Farm Bureau and Extension and Soil Service and those things. So it's always good to kind of, I feel like we stay in the loop with what's going on and growing on in Christian County.
It's really weird to think about. We're in the getting towards the middle of May, and our spring has been kind of weird. I feel like we're going to wake up tomorrow and it's going to be 105 and it's going to be summer for the rest of the time until September. Just hasn't really had you talked about bees, and we really haven't seen. I haven't seen hardly any insects at all, really, from what we're used to seeing at this time. I've seen some paper wasps, obviously, but other than that, I don't think I've really seen as much bugs as I normally do around this time for May.
I think you might have a point. I mean, I in my own garden, and I helped dig it down in Pana. remember seeing a tremendous number of earthworms or grubs even.
Just
most of the time in my own garden, especially if I'm digging on the edges of my beds where it's like close to the lawn, I'll find grubs, but I don't know what's your experience, Tim?
I've got grubs.
Okay.
Yeah,
well,
I ran.
they all went to his house.
They all
I
went
sent
to
them all
his
to his
house, dug
place.
out.
I'll send them over if you want.
Oh, no. That's okay. Thank you. Just the same.
Well, we're going to come back and talk more about grubs and where to find them as we continue through our morning show. We got to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll have more with Gwen and Tim to talk a little bit more about some of the great stuff that they have going on with the Master Gardeners of Christian County and more right here on WTIM, your information station.
WTIM. WTIM.
And welcome back to the WTIM, your information station morning show. Leroy Clamola here, joined by Gwen Podesky, Tim Vaughn, talking to us from the Christian County Master Gardeners about some of the great stuff going on with the Gardeners Association and all of the cool things that they have. I always get a kick out of seeing all the great plants and stuff that people are able to grow in their yards, and think someday I'll be able to do that, but clearly it's not today. And there's a big seminar coming up here in just a little bit on raised beds, Gwen.
Yes, I think next Wednesday from 4:30 to 5:30. That's May 17th. Andrew Holsinger is going to be presenting a raised bed gardening workshop at the hospital here in town at Taylorville Memorial Hospital. I almost said St. Vincent's, but anyway, It's a good chance. A lot of people have been doing that. There are a lot of great reasons for raised bed gardening. Tim was sharing with me that last year he had access to some pretty old straw and had an excellent result doing. You plant
Tomatoes. Yeah.
Okay, so describe it. Do you plant the?
You take the bale needs to be partially decomposed. You cut a hole in the top. You throw some compost in it, and you plant your tomato plant. And then it grows. And if you don't have, like, if your dirt has blight in it or something, you don't have any of that problems at all. I caged it, and it worked fantastic.
Well, and what you could do is my daughter came up with this thing off of Facebook, and she's put it up. She took 2 T-posts and then bought some PVC pipe tees, and she put a crossbar of rebar running through the T at the top, and then she's going to tie the tomatoes up as they got, kind of loosely tie a string to them and then tie it to the top bar. So you could do something like that too.
Yeah, help to give that top support so that it doesn't weigh down. Yeah, absolutely.
So I mean, but I know you said you had great tomatoes last year, and no matter how well you do the whole crop rotation thing, eventually you run out of places. I guess I could take my front lawn out and put tomatoes up there for a while, but that my neighbors would maybe not care for that. So anyway,
resod the whole thing.
But raised beds can be helpful for older people who can't bend down as much anymore, may have some mobility issues. You're able to control the soil there. You will have a little bit more need to water because, of course, the water's going to go down, but you may have some more need for watering. But anyway, raised beds are a great way to garden in a small space. And as you said, you can keep them organized.
Yeah.
In my experience, no matter what you do, vegetables don't like to be organized. They want to be with their friends.
We have to keep them from mingling. That's
right.
right.
Exactly. This is not a party. We're at work here.
Gwen, what is it about gardening that you love so much?
I really don't know. I just know that from the time that I ever started this, I can remember buying I think it was an old enamelware pan or something with some holes in the bottom, and planting some petunias when I was in an apartment right before I moved to Taylorville. And there's just something about it. I don't know. It makes me feel good. They do say that there are pheromones or what. I don't know if it's pheromones, some sort of endorphins. I think the endorphins is a word I'm looking for in the soil, that actually working in soil makes your life better, makes it just, your blood pressure goes down, until the Japanese beetles show up. But I mean, it's a good feeling to grow things and make them beautiful, or grow things that you can use to nourish your family. It's just, I don't know. I don't know if I could live if I couldn't garden. It's
something to be proud of, as far as I made that, or I know I used to do sunflowers, and I would they'd be 7-8 feet tall, and be like, I remember when you were this big, and we're able to get you into a huge plant. I always thought that was something that was really, really cool. All right, we got about 30 seconds left. Any final thoughts, Gwen?
Just be sure to visit the Native Plant Society plant sale is May 13th, Saturday at the fairgrounds. Be sure to visit that. And real quick, go down to Mobot. Chihuly in the Garden is on from now until October 15th. And they even have Chihuly nights on Thursday through Sunday nights.
Sounds good.
Enjoy the garden. This is the time of the year to do it.
100%. Facebook page for you guys?
Just Master Gardener, Christian County, Illinois, Master Gardeners, or Master Gardeners, Christian County, Illinois. But I think if you just put in, but be sure to put the Illinois in. There are 2 other states.
Sounds good. Thanks, guys.